A lot of the model runs were undershooting what actually happened. National Hurricane Center was always more aggressive at saying this was going to be a powerful storm. So a lot of times when it's not right, people will point fingers. Oftentimes when it's right, people just expect that, but that's actually something that's not easy. And so there had to be a lot of judgment calls on that in terms of how they interpreted the data. So good job on that. That did provide people with an ability to plan. Now, where we're standing now is not in the cone. No one was saying it was going to be a direct hit here in the Tampa Bay area, and yet you've seen a lot of major surge. You've seen a lot of water damage. The damage in different parts of the state, there's damage in many places. Some of the places in the further northern part of the state, once you get past the Big Bend coast, you got a lot of wind damage. You had 140 mile an hour sustained winds. It kind of barreled through that northern part of the state and barreled into southern Georgia. So you are absolutely having, and we're going to be down on the ground in Perry and some of those places later today. But the reports we've gotten from those parts of the state was areas that were hit in Idalia and Debbie, that this was more extensive than both combined. So I think you're going to see buildings that survived those two storms didn't make this storm. I think you're going to see areas that were being rehabbed from last year's Idalia. You're going to see those have been damaged or even completely destroyed. So that's difficult because when you go through one storm, it's tough. Then when you have more coming, and then you have a third one come in like 13 months in the same general area, not easy to deal with. So please keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers. So far, there have been over almost 1.4 million power restorations that have happened since the storm began. That's an incredible amount of number. I think we're hovering around 1 million without power, but we have a lot of resources that are being put to bear. I think Melissa from Duke is here. Okay, Melissa from Duke. So Duke had massive numbers of people staged by, ready to go. I think you had some in Tropicana, right here. And so this is all ongoing. And as soon as it was safe to do, you've seen folks out. So Pinellas, most of Pinellas has power restored at this point, most of Hillsborough, but there's going to be some areas that are going to need attention, and so they're doing that. So we really, really appreciate that, and we know that that's important. We're also now, Florida Department of Transportation, they've cleared, I think it's over 8,000 miles of road with their cut and toss operations. I-10 is open, I-75 is open. They're working on these bridges. We were able to come in from Tampa Airport across Howard Franklin, going westbound. I don't think they've opened it up eastbound yet, but that will happen. And they're going to do the same with Courtney Campbell and with the Gandy. Skyway, I know, is open for at least emergency personnel, and they were going to open that for the general public as soon as possible. All airports in this region other than St. Pete Clearwater are back open, and we anticipate St. Pete Clearwater will be back open very, very soon. Now, I know some folks had to leave, be under evacuation orders. I don't know if they're able to get back yet based on how the local officials are navigating that, and hopefully you'll be able to get back as soon as possible. You know, you may have extensive damage where you can't stay in your home. We still have the Expedia and the Priceline hurricane options that are going to be on there for lodging. And so take advantage of that if that's something that you need. I know Kevin and I today, we're going to be surveying different parts of the state, looking to see what the needs for housing will be in the aftermath of the storm. There's different things that we've done and that we could potentially do in this one. So we're going to see, and we're going to listen to folks and see what the needs are with respect to housing. I know that you're going to start to see points of distribution that are going to be opening, and Kevin can talk a little bit more about that. You know, as we drove in, it does seem like a lot of the stores will likely be open very quickly. Now here, you need people to get back on the barrier islands and have the power going. But my sense is that you probably are going to see some of that happen very quickly. That makes the need for pods maybe a little bit less pressing, although we're still going to do it because we know it's important for a lot of people to have a place where you can go to get water and some of the other essentials. So that is all being done already. And what we've seen with the more recent storms is Kevin and his team kind of are ready to do it, and they just need the guidance from the locals about where to go. You know, it used to be you wouldn't do a pod until 5 days after the storm. Then with Ian, we got it, I think, within 48 hours or 72 hours. Now you're able to get it even the next day. So Taylor County, you know, you're going to see that today. You're going to start to see these very quickly. I'm going to let Kevin come up and provide an update, but we have a lot of damage throughout the state. Water mostly on the west coast and the peninsula. And then as you get into where the eye of the storm made landfall, you see a lot of the really, really strong winds that caused a lot of that destructive wind damage. And that has gone far inland, and you're even seeing it now, what's happening in the storm. You have major, major impacts in North Carolina, in Tennessee, which is not always usual for some of these storms. So this is a really, really large storm, Category 4 storm, and we're going to just continue to do all we can.